So you'll be seeing this video, and then you can watch it, and then you email me or text me saying, your name, saying I watched this day, watch the day, and I will give you credit for that. But you've got to communicate with me and let me know, and I'll change the grade and your attendance. Okay, so just make sure you do that because it'll help you out on your grades. Now, there was people asking about where if you can submit stuff, like there there are things that I can open up to submit for you to submit certain items. Um, I don't know why it's not opening up, but I will try to see what's going on. But yeah, anything like that, it's asking for you to submit something, for sure, try to submit it in. But I will look to find out why it's not allowing you to submit whatever you need to submit. And if it shows error signs or if it shows like it's not working, take a picture of it or take a little video of it and send it to me so I can see what is happening, because I don't see what's happening on y'all's end of it, right? I only see what it is or what it looks like on my end, and sometimes it's completely different. So if you're having problems, take a few pictures, send it to me or a little video, just so I can understand what it is y'all are talking about, that it's not allowing you to submit certain items. All right. Any other things y'all need to discuss or want to ask me right now before we get started? No? Okay. All right then. Cool. Let's see here. Share my screen. We are going to be talking about hiring, deciding who to hire. Let's see here. Someone asked, do you submit answers to or from the slides? You mean the PowerPoints that we're going through right now? Is that what you're saying, or what you're asking? Or no, you do not. Anything that has to do with these PowerPoints that I have given you, you do not have to do anything that homework says on these PowerPoints that we're going over right now. Because what has happened is we have integrated those some different items, like the submitting whatever you need to submit for the class, or going through the class sections where there's checks by everything. That is what we're talking about. We're not talking about anything to do with these slides right here. Who just came in? Who just came into class? I need to know who it is so I can get you marked off on attendance.
Kevin.
Who? Kevin? Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Yeah, just went.
Issues.
You're having computer issues?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no worries. I just wanted to make sure I marked you present because I had marked absent. All right. And if anybody comes in late, especially when I'm sharing my screen like this, I can't see anything really. I can't see y'all, who it is that's coming in. So I just need to know so I can mark you present. All right. So let's get started. Day 5, deciding who to hire, job responsibilities, and let's see. Da, da, da. There we go. Wait. All right. Oh, here's a little funny. That's kind of funny. All right. As a manager, you must decide who to hire. That's kind of, we even kind of started talking about that yesterday, right? Of just good managers and good, dealing with who who you should hire and the attitude. We don't want anybody that's very aggressive or whatever else, but who to hire. Uh, get the word out, right? Now, I would say in the Austin area, a lot of it is word of mouth. People, the chefs talk and we decide, hey, I got an employee that's wanting to quit, and hey, you want to go to this restaurant or whatever else. So word of mouth is a lot of it, but just get the word out. Hire from within. Why would you want to hire within? Anybody? Why would you want to hire within your company?
Loyalty.
Loyalty. They already know the procedures, so I'm not going to have to spend as much time, in that time equals money, but I wouldn't have to spend a lot of time and money to train them. It's a little cheaper, but that also could be that there's some problems as well of like, if you're hiring within, in there might people might not take that manager seriously, or because I don't know, maybe that they're a slacker, or they do, you know, I don't know. I mean, they might not take that person seriously or whatever else, as in a management role. But there are pluses and minuses from hiring within and hiring with outside of the company. Um, I think sometimes it's best to hire with outside of the company, and there's sometimes best when you can hire within. Has anybody had a manager that, or someone that got hired as just a regular line cook or whatever else, or just as a regular worker, and then has moved up, and you had a little hard time because they were equals for a long time, and now they're ahead, and you don't want to listen to them, or you don't want to, they're a friend and not, once you never want to be a friend to your employees, like real friends, right? Because they could take advantage of you and all of that. So you just got to be very careful with that. But when you're hiring, I would always look for people that within that want to, you know, why would you want to hire someone, or what are some qualifications that you would look for in an employee if you were trying to hire for a sous chef position? And what are some motivation, right? Motivation is one of the things that I'm looking for in an employee. What are some other things? Anybody? All right, y'all doing it on chat. Let me try to pull up my chat. Hold on a second. Skills, uh, speed, performance. Okay, yeah, responsibility. Yeah, so I mean, all of those things for sure. How, and how do you know when you're hiring someone, you have all of that? What would you do to figure out if they have the speed, the performance, the discipline, all of that you're writing down low? Put them as a temp to hire, like a just kind of a temp person to hire. All right, yeah. I mean, also there's working interviews, stage. Uh, have y'all heard of what a stage is? It's kind of staging is where you just go and you work for free for somebody. Like if you go like if I go to, let's say, Lucy's Fried Chicken, like I've been talking about, but Lucy's Fried Chicken, and say, hey, I need a can I work for you for a day, just a stage. And stage means you go in, you work for free, they feed you usually, and you just learn from them. It's like just kind of going in there and working for free, but you get that knowledge from them. But I do a working interview. I want them to know what they're getting into. Plus, I want to know what I'm getting into as an employee. If I want to get hired to them, like I've gone to restaurants, and once I do like their working interview or a cooking demonstration or whatever else, um, you know, I look in that restaurant and go, ugh, do I want to work in a dirty restaurant or do I want to work in this place? And it's a good way of trying it out, trying them out, and them trying you out. Because there's sometimes I've hired employees and and I didn't realize how they kind of padded their resume so where it they looked better than they were, and I didn't realize that until they came to work for me. And if I did a working interview, I could figure it out or find out how they were before I actually spent all the money to hire them. Hey, who just came in? Who just came?
So that was me. I have to do video on my laptop and audio on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. I just wanted to make sure that I get whoever it was on attendance. Cool. Thank you. All right. So sorry, guys. I just every time I hear a ding, I always want to make sure I capture someone's attendance. Okay. Come on. If you choose to hire outside the company, you can use job boards, help wanted signs, word of mouth. What are some other things that we do now? Like websites, right? Like Poach.com or has in this is yeah, and there's a place called Poached. If you haven't been there, that's a good website for local restaurants and all of that, but Poach.com. Um, Indeed, LinkedIn for sure. Those are also good websites, professional websites. And you can, if you ever want, I think I've got my professional thing on LinkedIn or something like that. So, and I get reports of jobs that are in my range or whatever else sent to me. So that's a good way. But writing a job description, we already kind of talked about this yesterday, right? When it talked about a job description, what you want on it, what you need. a lot of the requirements, right? You know, you need to be able to stand, you need to be able to work in weekends or holidays. That's something for sure you want to write down on that job description, because if you don't have it there, then you know the employees will, you know, and then I make them work a weekend or a holiday, then they're going, well, it's not in my job description. It wasn't in there, so I don't want to do it. In here, I would always put work weekends, work holidays, work multiple schedules, any of that sort of stuff. I would do. All right. Let's see. Qualifications, degrees, certifications, like we talked about, um, you know, working conditions, and then the salary or benefits. Now, this is something that has changed a little bit. You would see the salary and benefits a lot more, or used to. You know, now they usually do a kind of a range of like, you know, the high and low of the salary area, and it really kind of depends on your, you know, what you have to offer, what kind of um, you know, what your qualifications are. If you and you know, for sure you need to negotiate your you know, your wage. I would always negotiate. I mean, even if they're going to say, you know, 50, you know, $50,000, I might say, hey, okay, that's great, $50,000, but let's could we in 6 months reconvene, and if I've met your standards, is there any way we can get a bump in the in my raise or whatever else? So, you know, just making sure that you advocate for yourself as a manager or as a boss when you get hired. I think it's always important to advocate for yourself. Always keep this in mind. Uh, Picture the person who would be good at everything the job requires, break it down, and list the individual responsibilities. Excuse me. But yeah, that's a good idea. Break it down into individual responsibilities, and then make it easy for the employee to understand when you're breaking down the job description. Um, think about the person's qualifications. What kind of person would be good for the job and position, and will they fit in with the team? That is, I think, the most important thing. Will the new hire fit in your team? Has anybody had a person that got hired that just was not a good fit with your kind of cohesive team? You know, I think that a restaurant, um, the back of the house is like a huge family. You know, it's a one big family, and sometimes you get the wrong individual in there, and it really screws up the environment and the kind of chi, and you're just kind of balance. Has anybody ever had a problem like that? Yeah. You know, give me some examples if you can unmute yourself and give me an example of what kind of thing happened. Anybody want to share? No? Wow, all right. Let's see, qualifications. Let's see, the skills. What you must know if the applicant has the basically the capacity to do the job, right? You know, I mean, can they do the job? That's all I want to know. And it's either a yes or a no, plain and simple. It's kind of I mean, this industry is a put up or shut up industry. It's either you do it or you don't do it. And it's I don't know. I think it's important for you to know to figure that out. More important though, this would be you know, I mean, I just really think you need to help. I mean, they can learn some skills, yes, but I only hire, when I was hiring, I was only hiring culinary students just because I knew exactly, or anybody that had gone to culinary school, that's the people I would hire. I wouldn't hire anybody from what I call the school of hard knocks, like that hadn't gone to culinary school, but just because I know what the standards are at a culinary school, and at least I know that you would have, you know, these certain skills that I wouldn't have to retrain you and train you on how to cut, how to, you know, cut stuff properly or whatever else. That's something I, as a owner of a restaurant or whatever else, I wouldn't want to spend my time or money teaching someone how to do that. But I would much rather have someone with skills that I can hone their skills even more and make them a better chef. So let's see. Do they want the job? You know, do they really want the job? Or are they just coming just to come to, you know, come here just for a paycheck? You know, there are people out there, and I get it. You know, you're just working the job just for a paycheck. You know, you don't have the love, you don't have the passion. And the restaurant industry is one of those things where it's a love hate relationship. You know, it's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, you know, but you just got to uh, make sure that they really want the job. If they are hungry enough, if they really want the job, they'll work for you. But you know, just make sure you're looking for someone that really wants that job, or that's, you know, wanting the manager job or whatever else. Someone that, you know, that I can see that wants to grow with the company or wants to be at the restaurant. Now, honestly, guys, I would never stay at a restaurant more than a year, 2 years max. You know, as you're getting started, because you want to learn all the information possible, and then go find another restaurant that you can use and take all their information and take it to your advantage. You know, most careers, you want to see stability. Like in, if you're a lawyer, you want to, or a, you know, teacher or something, they want, you know, employers want to see stability. You're staying at a place for a long period of time. Well, in the culinary industry, it's okay to jump, you know, a year here, a year there, you know, a year over here. You know, it's okay to jump around. That doesn't mean that you're unstable or whatever else. That means that you're just sucking as much knowledge out of one restaurant and then going to another restaurant, sucking as much knowledge from them, and going until you get into the management role. Once you get in the management role, then you usually stick around there, you know, around places a lot more longer once you get in the management role. But you know, do they have a vision of what they, you know, about the company and about what they want to do? Excuse me again, sorry. Allergies are bad. Um, okay, avoid these factors when hiring. The halo effect, the cloning effect, the top of the mind effect, and the personal, your personal options. So let me see if they break it down. Yeah, they do. Okay, so halo effect, only one. Um, Basically, how about someone tell me, read from here, or give me, someone tell me what a halo effect means in your own words. Anybody? Someone. You can read it. Is it on there? Am I streaming it? All right, so just kind of look and see what does the halo effect mean?
It means that they have one, two good qualities, so they have a bunch of flaws that it overshadows.
That is correct. Okay, now what is the cloning effect? Or basically, the cloning effect is what, you know,
You basically hire over a certain amount of traits that you're looking for. There's no diversity. There's A, B, and C block, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, cloning is one of those things where you're basically you're trying to find someone to clone another person. So you're trying to, you know, someone similar to you. Um, and then top of the mind effect is what? Look at all the candidates again, review their resumes, and let them know our notes that you took. You know, look at all of the notes you took on the interview. When has anybody ever had like a group interview before? Group interviews can be kind of scary. You know, they have like there's two group interviews. Either you can have like a group of like your all the applicants in one room, or you know, a group interview also could be you in four or three other people or five other people sitting there asking you questions. That could be very intimidating. You know, so you've got to be very, you know, very careful in trying to not intimidate your people that you're hiring, you know, and make them feel comfortable. That's why I never interview like in front of like a desk, like an actual barrier. You don't, I never want a barrier in front of me and, you know, the person I'm interviewing. Like this table right here, that would be fine because they're sitting kind of close area, but I don't like a barrier, like I'm the authority and you're the little kid and da 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 da, right? You know, because that intimidates the person. Personal opinions. Don't hire the best. Don't fire. Don't hire your best friend or someone you personally like based on this feeling. Okay. Friends. Don't hire friends or whatever else, or you know, because it could cause problems. I know it might be awesome and fun, but man, it can cause so many problems. Just be very careful with that. Um, Friends can take advantage of you, and then you don't want to. You don't want to hurt your friendship, so you just kind of let it happen, and then that just kind of causes more problems. Remember, if you're hiring a chef, consider their qualifications, their skill, their speed, their capacity. You know, you name it. Their leadership quality. Um, in a chef role, you need to be able to be a leader, and I'm planning on all y'all being managers or owners or you know, stuff like that. So with that being said, remember, you're trying to find someone that's got the skills, man. They need to have the speed. I don't want someone that's slow as molasses. That's just slow, and I need someone that's got skills, that's got speed, that's got accuracy, that's, you know, qualified, that cares about the job. You know, all of those things. Sometimes it's very hard to find a person that is like that. Sometimes you got to kiss a lot of frogs, and you go through a few employees, then you get a great employee, and then you need to foster that and make sure that they stay with you. Uh, I think that's very important. Let's see, checklist for things to look for when hiring. Okay, let's talk about this. Does that individual fit with the company, you know, with the colleagues, with your employee, you know, with everybody else? Are they a good fit? Um, you know, I've been at places where um, you're you're hired on a probationary period. So every hire is probationary. So where you have, like, I think 3 weeks to work, right? So you work at this job for about 3 weeks, then you're probationary, and then the workers, all your peers, the people that are working with you, they will vote to decide if they want you in that restaurant or not. So you're, you know, you're basically probationary for 3 weeks, and then if you, you know, meet all the qualifications, then you'll be a 100% full employee. If not, you will get laid off or let go because you're probationary. So that is a good way of being able to kind of try out somebody for a little bit, and I can get rid of them after 3 weeks if they're not a good fit for the company. So doing probationary is sometimes a good way of going about that. So where you're not stuck with a horrible employee when you're doing it. So let's see. Let's see. Does the candidate skills necessary? Do they have the skills necessary for the job? You know, that's another important thing. So, you know, do they have the license? Do they have all the, you know, all of this sort of stuff? Pretty straightforward on that. Checklist for looking when they're hired. Does the finalists, do they have the background check? You know, we do background checks and all of that sort of stuff. Do they have a strong work ethic? Do they have very high energy? You know, I don't want to hire someone that's like slow, if you've ever seen Zootopia, you know, Flash, the little sloth that is just going real slow. You know, I don't want someone that's like slow as molasses. So you've got to really find someone that's got some energy and that's up and ready to go. Now, guys, granted, I understand you're not going to be able to, you know, every employee is not going to have the energy every day. They're not going to be a go-getter every single day, but you want to find someone that, uh, on the average, basically, has a good work ethic, right? I just don't want anybody that's just a lazy sack of bones that's useless to have around, because I'm wasting money. I'm wasting money on hiring you, right? Or not you, but just that person, because you're lazy or whatever else. And, basically hiring takes a lot of money. Um, let's see. Good team player. And again, these are some things, I mean, we've repeated over and over again. So, like I said, there is a lot of repetition in this class. All right, we've already kind of discussed that. Says the individual fit in with the company culture. Again, that's just fitting in with the group. Let's see. Their weaknesses. Now, that's one thing I do look at is their weaknesses. I try to pair. I try to figure out what their weaknesses are, and then I determine if they're weak, if who I can pair them up with, or kind of station them with, so where their weakness is this other person's strength, so where they kind of balance out a little bit. So I try to do that when I hire people. I try to figure out whose weakness and who's what positives and all of that, and just try to balance out my my employees. So the back of the house is pretty balanced, and everybody's got at least the skill. One person has one skill, maybe the other person doesn't, but at least one person does. And I think balancing out that is very important. All right, what do y'all want, 15 or 20? 15 minutes break or 20-minute break?
17 and a half.
17 and a half. Yeah, all right, so let's go 17 and a half minutes. Now let's do 20 minutes. Sound good? So what is 20 minutes from now?
7:05.
All right, 7:05 it is. Come on back at 7:05.
Hey, Chef. Quick question.
Yes.
Are we getting breaks?
Yeah, I'm giving you.
No, like Christmas break and
Oh, yeah. Yes, you are. I can try to find the schedule for you and try to post it.
Okay.
Post it up for you. Give me a couple minutes and I'll look for it.
Are there going to be any other breaks than Christmas break, or is it just Christmas?
No, there's a few other ones. Hold on one second. No, let me plug in the attendance, and then I'll pull that up on our break and I'll send it to y'all. Now, has everybody gotten all the PowerPoints? I sent an email, and if people have not gotten that email, please make sure you email me, and I will send you that link for all the PowerPoints. It should be, and does that work? Does that link work for everybody?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool. And
Yeah, I got
it's just instead of me having to post all the PowerPoints individually, I just thought here you can have them all type of deal. Cool. All right, cool.
Hey, Chef, I got a quick question. I got this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing stuff while we're talking. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Like I'm doing attendance and all of that. Yeah, go ahead, man.
So I got this DocuSign, the orientation thing,
Yeah.
and the first question. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, no problem.
Could you be okay? That's cool. Be slower. Come on. There we go. Yeah, one of the first things is I have to sign confirming I've gotten an interview with the school, or not an interview, a tour.
And you haven't?
No.
I good question.
Yeah, by signing below, I acknowledge completing a tour of the school and the date below.
Okay. Give me a yeah, let me text message my boss and see what she says, because
Okay.
I don't know the answer on that. I hadn't really thought about that. I would say I don't know. Let me get back with you on that one, okay? When does
Because I
that
don't
need
want
to
to
be?
just start signing stuff and
Yeah,
send it
no,
off.
no,
And then,
I totally agree with you on what you're saying on that. Let me find out what they would want you to do,
okay.
and I'll get back with you on that. Okay.
Right.
Hopefully I'll let you know by the end of the class. Oh, Matthew. All right. I just want to make sure. Faith, are you here?
She's got graduation today for high school, so she's not going to be here.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot. That's awesome. That's
High
right.
school grad. Am I the oldest person here?
Yes. I had a question actually.
Yes, yes. What's up?
When are we supposed to get our knife set?
Once you get on campus, or wait, let me let me rephrase that. If you're going to be doing the on ground portion, you would get it when you get to the school. But if you're going to be doing like a a different style, like the online portion of it, then they would mail it to you. Uh, I I I think I know that, yesterday we did have a meeting with all the chefs, and they were talking about that the admissions reps were sending all the uniforms out yesterday, and knives and all of that. But I would recommend uh, just if if you remember your representative or your rep, you can email them or call them, and they will have all of that information as well.
Okay, because I was also confused, like how we knew if we were doing online or on campus.
You know, I'll put in the chat line a person, the registrar's email, and you can email the registrar and find out, because that I do not know, how how you find out about uh, what you're going to be doing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah, no problem. Sorry I couldn't be any help, more help. I might go past 6:05. I'm still trying to find the holiday schedule. So give me a couple minutes.
Cookie.
All right. I'll find it in a little bit. I don't know where it is. Just give me a few more minutes on that. And hold on 1 second. I apologize. So I left a message with my boss asking her what to do, and I don't know if she's going to be awake in time, but we'll see what she has to say about that survey or whatever you were doing. I would say, when in doubt, just say no and just kind of leave it like that, and you know, just because you haven't gotten it yet, but you will. Um, So let's see, here we go. Let me get back sharing my screen. And you know what? I will, just because everybody has the link, I will post the holiday schedule on that link where all the PowerPoints are. Are y'all cool with that? So you can kind of, everybody has access to that, and then I'll just label it like school schedule or holiday schedule or something like that for y'all. And I can, I'll post that this afternoon so everybody can see it. All right, let me share my screen. Here we go. I think we were, okay, so when you were in the hiring process, um, you know, they asked you lots of questions, right? They asked you, you know, are you, what is your plan for 5 years, or what is your goals for the next couple of years, or, you know, usually it's 5 or 10 years they'll ask, what are your plans? You know, just be ready for answering questions. You know, don't lie to anybody, right? When you're hired, you know, going in on an interview, be honest. Don't lie, because you know people can smell out the bullshit, right? You know, I mean, they really can. Especially when you're, you know, put on the spot, right? And you're like, just you just make up some random thing. So don't do that. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't know the answer to that, or hey, can you give me a few minutes on to answer it? I've never really thought about that question, or whatever else. So that there are some things, it's okay not to be able to have an answer to all their questions. Don't, and that's what a lot of people are afraid of, is that they don't have all the answers to their questions, so they might start, you know, making stuff up, or just kind of going with the flow. And sometimes you just need to not be afraid to say, hey, I don't know the answer, but if I find out, or if I remember, or if I can think about it, I will let you know, or whatever else. But you know, just trying to make sure you, um, you know, you communicate with them when you're doing that. Let's see. These are all okay. Follow up. Once you do your first initial, you also have a follow up interview. You know, that's kind of the second interview. You know, it really kind of depends on what facility you're in, but a lot of times, you know, I will have like 2 interviews with people, or what, you know, something like that, just so I can make sure, oh yeah, do I really like them? Do I really want to, you know, hire them? You know, just to remember who they are. You know, I think a second interview is always good. Just kind of follow up, make sure that they're still interested, make sure that you're, you know, you're still interested in them. Because after a while, you sometimes, you know, you meet a lot of people and you kind of forget. Um, who about the applicants sometimes, depending on what it is. Job responsibilities, making sure that they know, your employees know the responsibilities or job task. Like, for example, I would get my grill cook or my fry cook or whoever it is to write down a list of, okay, all the things you need to do for that day. Day right when you get to the station, turn on the oven or turn on, this. It's just step by step by step things, and that's called a job responsibility, or job responsibility list or whatever else. But just making sure they understand what their responsibility is on that job or that task or that skill. um, I think very, very important. um, let's see. Super- All right, there are types of supervision. Close supervision. Then what is someone kind of give me, tell me what close supervision is. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but you're just sitting there, someone is supervising you very closely, like monitoring everything that you do. And then you've got supervision of just, I'm just kind of watching you, watching your duties, just paying attention to you, but not as closely. And then general supervision is just kind of like, hey, make sure, their duties are done, just kind of watching out, and not being as very militant. I'm not going to be all, sitting here, the close supervision. I'm just kind of sitting there watching you. But general is just, hey, make sure the job, their task gets done into what you want. Direction, general direction, making sure that they know what the specific goals and objectives are for that workstation. And then general direction, just making sure, um, all the things are basically completed. All the goals that you have should have been done are done. And you've met all the goals and all the objectives. Personality types. Wow, there's lots of different personality types, right? You have type A, type B personality. It's just different personality, aggressive personality. So tell me, like, anybody know of or been around someone that's got just a different personality than you, very quiet or very, if you're very, we got louder people, we have quieter people, we have people that are nosy, we have people, all sorts of things, right? So making sure that you have a well-rounded group, so where it's not, a bunch of jokers, right? A bunch of people that love to play jokes. We don't want that many of those around, because then it would be kind of off balance. So trying to balance out your employees with the personalities too. I mean, you've got an outgoing, you have quiet, you have very mousy or very quiet and just very inward, inverted, person that just stays inside. So you have all different types, and the type X personality. Someone tell me, kind of look at that and someone tell me what X personality is. Who wants to tell me what X personality is?
It's a person with more than one personality.
Yeah, yeah. And you have multiple personalities. Type A, type B, a mixture of type A, type B. Um, and again, it's just making sure you understand who I mean, basically all today is all I'm trying to tell you is you got to find the best fit for your job, plain and simple, or for that job and for your team. You've got to think about what's good for that position, what's good for the team, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone that just fits like a glove. I mean, it should fit like a glove. If not, it's going to screw up. One person can screw up the whole team. You got one bad apple, one person that can totally screw up the team. And so all of what today is just talking about making sure you find the right person for the job. And these are tools in ways how to make that happen. And that's all what today is about. Talking about, I mean, here you go, just combining different cultures, different personalities all into one. So it's kind of like you're creating a big melting pot in your restaurant, right? You're putting all different types of people in a situation, and you are trying to make sure that they work in a cohesive, smooth way, right? So how do I mean, I look at our class right now, I see, 4 or 5 different people in it's like, okay, well, there's 4 or 5 different personalities, 4 or 5 uh, different people. How can I get those 4 or 5 people to be in one room and work together for the common goal of producing food, producing sexy looking, awesome tasting food, right? We want it to look great. We want it to look sexy, right? We want it to look so how can we get this mix of people to get that one plate to come out looking amazing and all of that without those 4 or 5 people trying to kill each other, right? Because we don't want them at each other's throat. So if I have too many people like like if all those 4 or 5 people are all the same, well, and they're all type A or type B or whatever else, it would be very hard for all type A people to be around all, one type A person be around a bunch of type A people. You need to kind of spread it out a little bit so where people can bounce off ideas, because each person has different ideas and different ways of thinking and seeing things. So that is a good way of fostering a good employment, foster a good teamwork. And this is kind of going through type A, type B. I'm if you would like to go over that, that's fine. I'm just kind of trying to make you understand. I don't think you really have to, uh, uh, you know, type, just making sure that you have a good, well-rounded group of people. That's all I'm wanting you to do. Type A. Someone tell me what type A, in your own words, what type A is, or what is type A personality mean in your own words. And you can take some time to read it. It's all right. Let's see. A very strong leader. Yeah, you've got type A is more of a strong leader for sure. But type A personality may not be a very good at recognizing coworkers' feelings and needs. Okay, so type A, they are good workers, but they tend to not be able to kind of recognize kind of workers' feelings or their, what how they are, how they deal with stuff. Um, Sorry, I got a text message. I thought it was my boss, but it wasn't. But again, now, type A people, they don't know how to deal with people's feelings, right? So where I've got maybe a person that, carries their feelings on their sleeve, right? And then you got a type A person that can't tell or can't tell about other people's feelings, and maybe someone, and when people have their feelings, on their sleeve, right? Or it's very difficult to, they could take that the wrong way. They could get their feelings hurt a lot more. They could, feel like people don't care about them. So just watch out on that. Type A is I mean, it's not good or bad. It is what it is, right? So just making sure that you figure out ways, because you don't want all type A personalities in your facility. I mean, excuse me, I got the hiccups. You just don't want that. Type A is great, but you need a few other ones. Type B personality. They need what they strive for is approval. They need approval. They need that pat on the back. They need that that a boy or that a girl or something like that. They need that, that kind of, that's how they deal with stuff. They need that good job or that a boy or whatever else. But acknowledgement. They need that acknowledgement that someone acknowledges that they did something, right? So type B personality. What do you think? Is anybody in here like a type B personality? Are y'all mostly type A? Type A? Type B? I think y'all got a good probably mix. I mean, the people, throughout this week, I can kind of, yeah. All right, type A, type B. You got a couple of people that say both. I think I'm a mixed. Yeah, you know, I mean, and that's good. I think to be a good manager, I think you need to figure out how you can try to, at least if you're not a type A or not a type B, you need to, if you're like the executive chef, your sous chef should balance you out. So if you're a type A, you know, maybe you should try to figure out, find a type B or a C, you know, another uh, another type, you know, like type B or C to counterbalance you, right? To make you balance, to make the team well balanced. And I think that's important. Anybody that is a type C personality? Never mind, I'm a mix of type B and C. Yeah. Yeah. C is also, I mean, you can be a mix of all of them, honestly. A, B, and C. You know, I mean, it can be multiple things. I mean, and you can change. You know, you can be a different. You know, you can change into different types. Type C. Oh, sorry. What is type C? Someone tell me in your own words, what is a type C um, personality? Anybody?
Efficient.
Can you say it again?
Efficient.
Efficient, yeah, efficient. Type C is efficient. They just want to get the job done, right? They're just wanting to get that job done, bang it out, and be done with it. So you know, they're they're in, you know, do a lot more. They're more into paperwork, book work, that sort of stuff. All right, we're beating this dead horse on all of this. All right, so in your, hold a second. All right, what I would like you to do tonight or over the weekend or something, one of the day, sometime this weekend, take this test. It's just basically an online personality test. Let's see if it'll pull up for me. It's not pulling up for me. Let me. Oh. No, freezing up. Are y'all frozen? Am I kind of breaking up a little bit? Are y'all there? Hold on. Hey, can y'all hear me? Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Can y'all hear me now or no? Ah, damn. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, chef.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, my video's freezing. My computer's, I think, doing, I don't know, doing something. But how about this? Y'all have a good weekend. Y'all wanna? Oh wait, hold on. I think my computer's fine. Slowing down. Hello. All right. I think now my computer stopped freezing up. I don't know. When I clicked on that quiz like 5 times and it like pulled it up and it was taking forever and I couldn't shut it off. So my apologies. All right. So let's talk about the project real quick before I let you go. Now, the project is a restaurant project. So what I would like you to try to do over the weekend, and I would like everybody to do this, is I would like you to think about what kind of restaurant you would like to hypothetically build, okay, or make. We are looking, you can do a food truck, you can do it on ground, or whatever else. But these are the things I want you to try to come up with. What type of food you would like, or what I need you to come up with a concept. A concept is a type of, like, you know, is it going to be barbecue? Is it going to be an Asian flair, whatever else. You need to come up with what kind of restaurant you want to build, and maybe start thinking of a logo. What kind of logo you would like, or what kind of thing that, because we were looking at the brands yesterday, like McDonald's, Burger King, all of those different brands that are out there. What I want you to do is come up with your own logo. You can make it on the computer. You can you can hand draw it and then take a photo of it, whatever else. But I need like you to come up with a logo for your menu, because you're going to create a menu and we want a logo. So start thinking about what kind of restaurant you want to make, what kind of logo you would like, and where you would like to put this restaurant. Would you want to put it in Austin? Do you want to put it in Dallas? Do you want to put it in San Francisco? And start thinking of where you would like to put it, and be kind of specific. If you want to be in San Francisco, well, find me a location. Give me a location of where you're going to be. And that means, just try to, you can Google it, you can kind of look up hot spots in LA or whatever else, and you can kind of come up with a little location of where you want to be. So logo, what type of food, and you don't have to totally create a logo, but I want you to start thinking about it, because these are things that you're going to have to do for this whole project. So I want you to start thinking about it, because I'm going to be asking you in the next week, okay, hey, what kind of restaurant are you wanting to build? What kind of, where are you going to want this restaurant located? That sort of thing. So start thinking about that. And a logo is like for the McDonald's M is a logo, or the Wendy's, they have a logo that's, are just Wendy's written out in script or in cursive or whatever else, whatever logo you're looking for. That's kind of I just want you to start kind of thinking about that and start getting ready to create that. But get those creative juices flowing. Start looking at some ideas. Start kind of looking at some food, and think of your location needs to be in a location that fits your restaurant. For example, let's just talk about New York City. In Chinatown, I'm not going to build a Greek restaurant in the Chinatown. That's just not, that doesn't flow very well, right? So I'm not going to have a Greek restaurant in Chinatown. I'm going to go ahead and, have a Chinese food restaurant in Chinatown, right? Because people are going to go to Chinatown to eat Chinese food, right? Not to eat Greek food. So if you're going to be wanting to build your restaurant, let's not, just kind of think of the locations as well. And locations are very important, because I've seen many restaurants fail just because of a bad location. And probably y'all have seen restaurants that you think, oh, this is great, it's a great place, but the location really does suck. And that really does affect people. If it's on the other side of the street and it's very hard to get to that side of the street, or or if it's on the like the access road of I-35 and you've got to go to 2 exits down so you can turn around to get there, you know, maybe that's not the best location, right? So you got to think about that. Does that make sense? So those are the things I want you to start thinking about over the weekend, and because I will be talking about this and asking you questions of what kind of restaurant are you going to do? What kind of, you know, what is it? So, you know, start thinking about what type of restaurant. That's the number one thing. What type of restaurant? Then you can figure out where you're going to locate your restaurant. You need to know what kind of restaurant. Then you need to know where you're going to locate it, and then start thinking about creating a design for your restaurant. Or some people like to make the food or build the recipes, then come up with the design, because of, you know, people might want to, I don't know, do something with the food or whatever else. But you know, those are the things I need you to start looking at and thinking about, because we're gonna be starting to get this ball rolling on Monday for the project. All right, we good? Everybody copacetic? Everybody happy? I hope everybody has an awesome weekend. Guys, please drink water if you're outside. It's supposed to be like 106 tomorrow or 105. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So be careful, be safe. If you're outside, please drink water and take care of yourself. And other than that, you made it through the first week. Congratulations. I will find out about, let me make sure I'm going to find out about the survey or whatever that survey you were doing about the, if you had a tour or not. I will find out about that. Is it due? Is that survey due right now, or is it just kind of just a random survey that they sent you? Is there a due date on that? All right. Well, if there is, you know, let me know. Okay. No, then I would say hold off until Monday or until I find out what they would like you to do. Okay. I don't want you to lie and say yes, you got it, and you haven't yet. But I want to just make sure that, you know, I know what it is. And then I will post the holiday schedule on the shared file or shared folder that I've got everybody. And then I think that's it. All right, guys. Oh, and I will find out about your uniforms as well. You know, if you haven't gotten them, I will find out about that. And I will let you know on Monday as well. Are we good? All right, y'all have a great weekend. Be safe, all right?
You answer your emails on
Oh,
weekends?
do what?
You answer your emails on weekends?
Of course I do. I have I will answer emails at any point in time. You know, I have no problem with it. So email me, text me, call me. It doesn't matter. Whatever you need to do, I'm here for you. You pay my salary. You put food on my table. You clothe my 2 daughters, and you feed my lazy dog over here. Whatever I can do for you, I'm here. All right? We good? Y'all have a great weekend. Be safe, guys. Bye.
Chief.